All right, you guys, happy Wednesday. And somebody check on Noah, please. Here it is. Here it is. Poor Noah, my lawyer. Or rich Noah, my lawyer, because my legal life seems to be never ceasing. It just continues to go. Now, I've received my subpoena from Blake Lively today. I'll tell you what is in it, because in my opinion, she's kind of admitting that she cannot prove that there was a smear campaign. And I'll tell you why I think that and how I got there. Where to begin? Where to begin? Okay, so one of you guys commented on yesterday's episode something along the lines of, I wonder what a day in the life is like for Candace, because everything is so crazy. And I can tell you, truly, no 2 days are the same. This morning, I woke up unusually late because I do co-sleep with my infant. I am not a doctor. Do not take my advice, but I do that. And he had the worst night of any night of his life. I'm not kidding. He's 9 weeks now. It was terrible. We were up every 2 hours. I was feeling so bad for myself, but also bad for him. So I'm usually outside of the newborn phase, the 4:30 a.m. wake up girl workout, but not in this phase, of course, because it's like infants are like Russian roulette every night. And last night I lost badly. So I woke up extremely late for me. I woke up at 7:30 a.m. and I was struggling. Okay. I wake up and I'm just like, I cannot do today. This hurts. Everything hurts. I already feel like I've lost because I didn't get my kids up. And the first thing I do is I look at my phone, and at 7:33 a.m., I dive into my most toxic text chain, which is my text chain between me, Savannah, and my PR agent, Mitchell, because there's always people just writing mean stuff about me all the time. And he's like, do you want to respond? Do you want to respond? So here it is, the text chain, 7:33 a.m., Mitchell comes at me, and he says that Andy, the popcorn guy that was named in the TMZ article, texted me. He got my contact from Emil Hagan. He said the process server arrived at his wife's house. So I imagine they will arrive for you today. And I said, yep, it's supposed to arrive today. So I'm ready, not even kind of ready, but I know that I'm going to finally get this subpoena. Gratefully, my husband brings me coffee. I'm trying to caffeinate myself. Everything else kind of seems like a blur in the morning, as it does when you have a lot of children. My team arrives, or at least we meet every day at 11 a.m. and we get started. And I'm not going to lie, Mark, the director, was looking excited. He was like, did you get the subpoena yet? Mark was like that because he was like, if no, then I'm going to be here for it. So when I told him no, he had a little gleam in his eye because he knew he was going to be here to catch the action. And sure enough, 42 minutes later at 11:42 a.m., we caught a photo of it. Here it is. That is the subpoena guy. He was so nice. He was like, Miss Owens, I'm a huge fan of yours. He was adorable. And I said, thank you so much. He said, but ma'am, I have a subpoena for you. I just love Tennessee. I just love the South. I love the accents. And I just love that people are such good human beings, and they just tend to love me. And so it was great. And so he was honored to serve me my subpoena, and I was honored to receive my subpoena from him. And of course, you know what I did there. I called Noah right away. I called Noah because as we try to comprehend what even is the legal strategy at this point when it comes to Blake's never-ending lawsuit, I needed to work through what her request, because there's something very weird here. The most compelling part of this subpoena that I'm about to show you, which I wasn't expecting, is the requested timeline of a documentation that they'd like, okay? This is page 9 of the subpoena. It's a lot of blah, 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 a bunch of words. I'm not reading this whole thing. Noah's going to read it, but this is page 9 because this is crucial to me. They're asking for text messages, and let me get it open on my page so I can't really see it that well here. But it says on point number 2, unless otherwise specified, each request concerns the time period from May 1st, 2024 through to present. Okay, what are you talking about? This doesn't make any sense. Let's slow that down here because I think we're realizing something. It would make perfect sense that the judge, as he did, would grant them some sort of a limited subpoena to go ahead and prove their point. Let's not forget, Blake Lively is suing, among many other people, Jennifer Abel, Wayfarer Studios, Melissa Nathan, because she believes that while she was in a contract with Wayfarer Studios, they undermined her by hiring a crisis PR firm in the form of Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel to plant awful articles about her, thereby ruining her brand, making people hate her on the internet. Essentially, she believes that that traffic was inorganic now. And they worked with some guy in Texas named Jared who had access to Reddit to make that happen. Nobody could actually dislike her answers about her hair products, which, by the way, she's mentioned here. She wants text messages even pertaining to her hair products. It's everything. So you file that lawsuit saying if this is real, it really happened on December 20th of 2024. It would follow that if you're going to subpoena people, you're going to need messages that took place before you filed the lawsuit saying that it already happened. But look what they're doing here. They're extending that. Why would you extend it? There's no way that you could extend it because it already happened in the past. If it happened in the past, it can't be happening currently. That doesn't make any sense. So what I think they're doing here is I called them like, this is weird. Obviously, she knows for a fact that we are not going to allow her to have access to every text message and email pertaining to her and Ryan Reynolds and Wayfarer Studios because she watched me live say, now that I'm interested in this story, which my interest began on January 25th. Now that I'm interested, I am opening up a tips line and I am saying to all of the mommy sleuths and the daddy sleuths and anybody that's known Ryan or anybody that has an inside scoop to email me so that I have, something to share with the public about them. And sure enough, what happened? Everyone and their mamas and their teachers. We got Ryan Reynolds teachers that messaged me and said, here's a tidbit from who he was when he was in school growing up, blah, blah, blah. And we share that information. So she's literally subpoenaing, just to be very clear. She wants, I'm going to put it at 10,000 emails that we have received since we opened up this tip line. I went through it. I mean, I was like, this would be insane for you to ask me for this information. She's coming from the mommy sleuth. She's like, I want to know every Barbara and Sandy and Megan and every person that emailed you and Kyle and Kevin. We want to read your emails. Absolutely not. She knows we're going to say you can't read that. Of course she's going to say we can't read that. So why is she asking? Why is she? It's just like back when she was subpoenaing Justin Baldoni's messages and she said she wanted 5 years of messages. From before he even met her, she wanted messages. And we said, okay, her strategy here is to ask for something that she knows that she can't get so that when the party that received a subpoena says, no, I'm obviously not giving you every text messages dating back to things that I sent to my grandma for Christmas 5 years ago, she can go, see, they're hiding something. Something must be hidden because they still believe that the public is still stupid to comprehend what's happening here. This is effectively a PR strategy. Of course, we are going to say we're not giving up all the people that gave us information. She knows that I have a source because I'm the one that revealed that it was Scott Swift who teamed up with Baldoni. So she's probably going, oh, who sent that to her? Was it Taylor? Are Candace and Taylor friends? Is Taylor trying to undermine me? This is a fishing expedition. That's what it is, a fishing expedition because she wants to know now who's talking trash about her. Wake up, sweetheart. It's everyone. Everyone dislikes you because after Brian Friedman dropped the receipts, we all got invested and we're covering this organically. Okay, then nobody's paying me. Nobody's giving me talking points. And so what I said to Noah on the phone, I said, call Michael Gottlieb. That's her lawyer who's signed this or sent this over, who's an idiot. By the way, Michael Gottlieb, if you're watching, no hard feelings, you're an idiot. I see your strategy from actually, you might be smart because you might just be running up the bill here by first sending this ridiculous subpoena and then saying, no, I have to send another one. And I said, tell him we will willfully give him every piece of information that he wants leading up to when he filed this lawsuit. But obviously, we are going to assert reporter's privilege to protect our sources for how we got information about Blake Lively following her lawsuit being filed. I mean, common sense. And I said, beyond that, I'll even sign a sworn affidavit. What do you want? I had no communication with any party, not even a third party, somebody related to a party, to my knowledge, last year in 2024. I covered you for about 5 minutes in all of 2024. So what are you trying to prove here? If there's a smear campaign happening against you now? Yeah, we all read your words. We read your messages, we read your Khaleesi Dragons, and we're kind of sickened by the way that you bullied Justin Baldoni. Like, we read it and we feel passionate about this case, and we're teaming up in the way that every parent and mother and woman and child that has been following this just wants to see justice brought to Justin Baldoni. But we're not inside a smear campaign. This is outside. You heard me say live, send me tips. I want the deets. Steph with the deets wants the deets. You heard me live playing Steph with the deets stuff. You heard me live speaking about other TikTokers that we've been communicating with, trying to gather as much information and tips about you that we could gather. So it's sloppy. I think that's legal strategy, is to get these people like me and Steph with the deeds to say, we're not giving you that information so they can go, oh, look, something is happening. Again, I will abide by your subpoena as it pertains to any time before you filed your lawsuit, but you are not getting access to 10,000 emails for your fishing expedition so you can find out who leaked to me about Scott Swift. That's ridiculous, okay? So that's what she's doing. That's what this is. And I told my husband we can put up this entire subpoena for you guys to read on the Candace Owens website. And it won't be the only one that's there, because now switching gears, this is amazing. I'm very proud of myself here.